Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, really glad you're here today.
We're excited to have you guys here. Head over into the chat. Let us know where you're coming in from and who you serve. Really thrilled to be with you here today. We're going to be talking about our funnels. We're going to be talking about our lead generation system and how we can address what you may already have in place. If you don't have a funnel in place, then you'll learn a little bit more about what it'll look like to get started. I'll also share with you guys how you can get access to a complete system. This is a course along with templates, all of the baby steps that you need to get yourself set up with a funnel that works well for your unique business and how you can convert. So we'll be talking about that later on the call today as well. So hey, welcome Oregon, Virginia, Florida, Australia. Excited to have you guys here. Ellie, thank you for joining us. I will be bringing you out here in just a bit. I understand it's quite late for you. Hello, Missouri. We're of course in New York and North Dakota here. Thrilled to have you guys. Today is all about a lead magnet refresh. We're going to talk about reviving your list building system. It's the day before Halloween. We're going to bring our funnel back from the dead. Uh, Welcome, you guys. If you guys are new here, welcome. AttractWell is an all-in-one platform with everything that you need to grow your business from the ground up, whether you're just getting started or you are looking to save some serious cash and simplify the systems that you're using to run your business, whether you are service-based, you are knowledge-based, or if you sell goods and services, everything is all here in one place, and you don't need to learn how to or pay for 17 different things to get it done. Today's training is something that I think will help anyone watching this, even if you're not using AttractWell yet, which by the way, if you've got friends and colleagues that would benefit from learning what we teach here, feel free to invite them. This is free to anyone. And of course, you can get started with AttractWell for just $1 if you want to give us a try and follow along with some of what we will be showing you here today. So Greg and I are going to go out of video. We'll come back to join you guys here in just a bit. And let's get into the training that we've put together here for today, where we're talking about refreshing our lead magnet. Before we get into today's content, head over into the chat. Let me know what you are offering for free on your website to convert new leads. What does your lead generation system look like for you? What is the lead magnet or the sort of carrot that you're dangling for that? All right, so today we are going to talk about how we can identify where our lead magnet is working and where it's not, right? So if our lead magnet maybe has performed well before, or it stopped performing well, or maybe it just never quite took off, we're going to get into some troubleshooting around that here today. I really would highly recommend, if you do want to have some dialogue about this, if you want to put some of that into the Q&A, if you would like my feedback or you have questions. We're also going to talk about what it looks like to rebuild or adjust this list building system, your funnel in AttractWell, without starting over. We'll talk about how to automate smarter so your funnel converts consistently. And we'll talk about how we can track and optimize before your holiday and New Year traffic hits, right? So if you are promoting something going into the end of this year, we're going to make sure that we are well set up for that. All right, and of course, as always, we've got our live help and Q&A. So if you have questions, please do, as we are going through today's call, add those questions to the Q&A. That is the best place to go if you have questions you want to have addressed here on the call. We have quite a few people here today, and I don't want to miss any of the questions you may ask in the chat. If you are watching this as a replay, I hope you'll come join us live. We're live every Thursday at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time at attractwell.com/office hours. This is where you can go to sign up and get the link to these Zoom calls and be the first to receive any resources and replays that we send out. If you'd like to work together, as one person has signed up to do here today, we dedicate the second half of these calls to that purpose. AttractWell.com/work review is where you're going to want to go to take advantage of this great opportunity to get hands-on together, to dialogue back and forth, get your questions answered on whatever project you may be working on in AttractWell. And if you need a hand, you can go to attractwell.com/concierge, where you can sit down with our team and get a custom quote for whatever it is that you need done, whether that's migration, new build, design. You've got whatever it is that you want to get done in our system on hand with our team. All right. So the truth about our lead magnets is they're usually, if they aren't performing well, they usually aren't crazy far off the mark, right? And unless we are shooting in the dark, blind, having never really served a client before, right? If you have served a client and you understand your expertise well enough, you are probably pretty close to right. right? But it may mean that you just need to do a little zhuzhing up around what it is that you're saying about it or how it's delivering. So we're going to get into all of this here today. All right. So most lead magnets are created to meet a moment, right? Maybe we capture an idea and we think, oh, hey, that would be a great thing for me to put out, right? Maybe this would be the thing that could get me new leads. An opportunity is usually what we're responding to there. And that opportunity isn't always an evergreen one, right? So the first thing that you really want to think about is how evergreen your lead magnet is. Now, that's not to say that a lead magnet needs to be evergreen to work. You can certainly meet the moment with a lead magnet. And that can be a strategy that you pursue, particularly if the interests of your audience are cyclical or seasonal, or if they are maybe tied into current events in a considerable way. If that's the case for you, then you may want to do a refresh, like we're talking about here today, on on a quarterly basis, perhaps, instead of adjusting a lead magnet maybe once a year, which is where a lot of especially newer businesses may want to start. So again, you don't have to have an evergreen lead magnet, but definitely do have a look and see, like, is this the right season for this offer? Is this the right moment for this offer that I'm making? And these lead magnets that don't perform well are, at the end of the day, the ones that don't perform well are the ones that are most disconnected from what we're actually selling. Because what we really want from a lead magnet isn't just to get more numbers onto our list, right? It's nice to have a large list, but it's better to have a small list that's highly connected and that, of course, is responding to the offers you're making and becoming your client or your customer, right? So it is really important, I would say, of the highest level of importance, that your lead magnet actually has a logical, often progression related connection to the thing that you're selling. So our goal today isn't to rebuild your funnel from scratch. It's to clean up what is still working for you and plug it back into a smarter system. All right. So let's talk about why our lead magnets stop converting. First is our audience needs might have evolved, but this free thing that we're putting out there has not. So if you haven't updated your funnel in some time and it's not performing particularly well, this may be a reason. It may also be that the problem that your freebie solves is no longer urgent to your audience. Or maybe in some way, if your content has been shifting in a particular direction, attracting new people, it could be that the needs of the audience that you're attracting are moving in a different direction as well. The campaign that's attached to your funnel could also not convert well, meaning convert into your offer, if it is not logically connected to what we're actively selling, right? We need to have something that we can put out there for free for people to engage with passively that builds trust. Right. And that needs to be something that opens the door naturally to a conversation, either an actual conversation with you or one that is guided by an automated campaign that moves people toward next steps. So the first thing we want to do is get clear on our offer, right? Is it the right one right now? So what we want to ask ourselves first is whether our lead magnet is actually serving the right person for our current offer. So we actually need to take a couple of steps back here. What am I selling? Like, what is it that I am selling? What am I pitching? What is the problem that offer solves? And if I'm clear on what problem that offer solves, and that offer, right, this thing that I'm trying to sell right now is relevant right now to the people that I want to get it in front of, is this lead magnet for that person? Right? A lot of us can conceptually think of ideas for things that might gain us an audience, but that audience built for audience sake is not necessarily one that's going to net us the conversions that we're looking for to fill our client rosters, our courses, our offers, etc. Right? So we need to make sure that there is very clear alignment here. What we're selling right now, who that serves, needs to be the same audience that this lead magnet serves and vice versa. We also need to really make sure that what our lead magnet is doing is delivering context, right? Because they're going to see, so let's just say, for instance, you want to create a PDF or a video series even that teaches a concept or recommends a set of steps for someone to solve a problem. That problem that they're solving, which is the reason why they would give you their name and email address in the first place, that problem that they want to solve often lies inside of a much larger problem that you actually solve in your paid work with clients, right? Or in your course, your program, whatever it is that you are selling, right? So, what a lead magnet really ought to be, if we think about what our offer is broken down into steps, stages, or concepts, is that our lead magnet is actually a piece of that. If you could imagine, we've baked a cake, and that's ultimately what we're selling is the cake. The lead magnet basically gives them for free a slice of that cake, right? So, hey, if you want the rest of it, here's where you go. It really does need to be something that if not truly pulled from the offer, is at least representative of a core tenet, step, or solution that the offer delivers, the thing that you're selling. And once we have all that worked out, we do need to make sure that what we're doing on the page, right, where we're actually offering this lead magnet, is selling what it is that they are going to get from that lead magnet. So we want to make sure that we're naming the current pain, the goal, the outcome that someone is looking for. That's why, again, they're going to give you their name and email because they want the thing that the lead magnet does. And the people who say yes to that should be to you a signal that these are the people who are raising their hands and saying, I'm also a fit for the thing that you sell, right? If they say yes to this, they should say yes to that. That's the whole sort of mode of thinking here. And then we also might want to update our visuals, our language, and any proof, very importantly, we talked about this on a recent call, case studies, testimonials, et cetera, to match where our brand is now. If you don't currently have testimonials, case studies, social proof language on your page where you are offering your free thing, you are missing out in a major, major way with conversion onto that free offer in the first place. All right, so we do need to align what we're promising to what we're offering, right? So remember that context is really key. Your lead magnet really should act as a step toward your paid program or service. This can be a snapshot or an isolated step or piece of the process. It doesn't necessarily have to be step one, but it is a step, and it's one that will feel very logically placed within the larger context of what you sell or how you serve. And we want to make sure that our opt-in at the same time doesn't compete with what we're selling, right? We want to make sure that we are certainly delivering something of great value, that someone would be very open to exchanging their contact information, their attention, their time, their focus for. But we don't want to give away so much that they wouldn't want to actually buy the bigger thing, right? So if, again, going back to the cake analogy, we want to give them a slice, but we don't want to give them half the cake, and we certainly don't want to give them the whole cake, right? And a really important thing, if you don't have this yet in the lead magnet that you are offering, you should have some soft mention of what you're selling, right? So what I mean by this is if you have a video or you have a downloadable guide or something like that, in the intro or even in the body or the sort of messaging that you have in the value you're delivering inside of your lead magnet, you need to mention that this is a part of what you do with clients, or this is a part of what you do in this course, or this is a part of what the experience will be like if you did this other thing, right? It's not a hard pitch. We're just kind of sliding in here that, hey, this is what I do with clients when they're looking for X, Y, or Z thing. That's enough, because what we're doing with this lead magnet is we are obviously presenting our authority, we are putting value up front, but we're also creating that subtext that, hey, if you like this, you could work with me, right? Or I have more for you, right? And we're doing this in a way that, again, doesn't feel like a hard sell, doesn't feel like a hard push, but it's planting the seed. All right, so from there, we want to look at rebuilding our opt-in page. So from here, we are going to use the page builder. I'm going to actually go show you how to set this stuff up in AttractWell in just a moment, but I wanted to make sure we're really clear on some of these best practices, right? And if we're just to kind of recap before we get into the mechanics of how we do this in AttractWell, first thing, you got to make sure that you've got alignment with what you're selling, right? And that all of that is aligned with the actual current wants, needs, interests of the audience that you are building, right? So we need something that people actually want, and what we give away for free needs to relate to the thing we want to sell, right? Inside of the thing we give away for free, we need to mention, at least in some light way, that this is a part of a thing that we sell, right? And then we need to make sure that we have, as often as we can, social proof that, hey, clients of mine who have been through this thing that I sell, or clients of mine who have followed this step that I'm prescribing to you, have said this, have achieved this, etc. Right? Make sense? Now, the actual rebuilding process or adjustment process of your funnel is going to function as follows. It's pretty straightforward. In AttractWell, we have a page builder, and you may want to rebuild this based on any adjustments that you make, like what we've talked about here today. We want to make sure that on our opt-in page that we have one clear headline that names the problem and the promise, and it needs to be above the fold. It needs to be the first thing they see on the page, and it needs to be right next to where they put in their name and email to proceed, right? You want to keep one strong visual and one call to action above the fold. The visual does not have to be a direct representation of the product. There's a number of ways that you can employ this. It's just really important that the clearest available information above the fold is that headline that names the promise and the problem, and the clear call to action to put their name and email in there, right? So that's going to do more heavy lifting than any visual stuff that you do in terms of images. And then further down the page, we want to add trust elements like testimonials, social proof blocks, etc. Right? We then want to take a look at the back end mechanics of our funnel, right? So reviewing our form, making sure that we are asking the questions we want to ask. I would, for a top of funnel like this, keep it very, very simple. I would use name and email only unless you are someone who has a specific need or desire to collect phone numbers. In both cases, I would make them required if that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that we do have the right campaign or automation attached, depending on what that follow-up looks like, how you're applying tags, the messaging that you're sending. And then make sure, again, these forms that you use are short and that they are high intent, meaning this really just is a name and email. If we give people a bunch of things to do, the likelihood of them actually fully converting drops dramatically, right? Keep it quick, keep it simple. And then you want to use a confirmation page, as always, to direct them to the next logical step, which is usually going to be, hey, go check your email. Okay. And actually, beyond that, if you are following what I teach in the Client Funnel Challenge, this would actually be sending them to an authority page where they would be introduced to a next opportunity to convert. So that could be a discovery call, invitation. It could be an invitation to some other thing that's more automated that might present the opportunity to purchase if they're ready. Obviously, we're going to be delivering what it is that they're asking for right away. We're going to use a campaign to do that, and they need to be able to receive what they're asking for on the day zero of the campaign. Always in all of your emails, make sure that you're including an invitation to hit reply, ask a question for this purpose, right? Always give people the opportunity and really convey the expectation that you want a discussion with them, unless, of course, you have a large list and you're sending out things that don't require interaction, right? But for the majority of us, asking a question and expecting a response is a good practice in any email that you put in this campaign. And don't leave them hanging. Include daily or every other day emails for a week or longer that introduce you, that share client stories, and that share value forward insights that links to your content. And essentially what we're doing here is we're welcoming them into our world. Now, I do have a full walkthrough and every step in detail with video and templates and everything inside of a course that you can use that I'll show you in just a moment where you can go and get it. And so if any of this flies over your head, don't worry. There is step by step you can pick up and leave off exactly however you have the time to engage with this. Automating smarter with behavior triggers is another thing that we want to consider as we are revisiting the efficacy of our funnels. We want to use automations in AttractWell to do things that pertain to conditional response marketing. So if we want to create sort of if-then branches, with how people engage with us. We can do that based on clicks and based on actually a lot of different factors, such as whether or not an email link is clicked or a message is sent. Right. So we do have the ability to branch off and maybe isolate higher potential leads in your funnel using automations particularly on click, right? So what we can do here is create an automation that applies, say, a tag, a follow-up plan, maybe a secondary campaign for your high potential leads, and then that can redirect to your freebie or to any other place you would like it to go. And this automation you would be using instead of a direct link to your freebie to track and take action on your best leads or to automatically direct them toward purchase opportunities. So what I'm describing here essentially is instead of just giving them a straight link that goes to the PDF. Like if you're offering a PDF, it's hosted in your files in AttractWell. Option A is just put the link to the PDF in day zero of your email and hope that they click it, right? But this option two that we're talking about here, option B, would be to instead of making that automation or sorry, making that link direct in the email, we would put an automation there. And their experience is going to be the same. They click the link, they go to the PDF. But on the back end, if we're using an automation as the link, then we're also able to maybe immediately identify those who are actively engaging, right? Because some people, they opt in for something, they never check their email. Those are not people that we are going to want to spend a lot of extra effort and resources on, right? But for somebody who goes into your email and they click, maybe we want to immediately follow up with that person with any number of different steps, right? That could be automated messaging. It could be reminders for you to do things like look them up on social, right? So I'm going to show you guys how to do this here today as well. All right, so let's go take a look at this. We're going to see this in action, and I will get to your questions here as well. Okay, let me make sure I'm in a good account here for you guys, and we'll get started with the share. All right, so I'm going to work with an existing funnel that is here in the Jane account. So let's see if I have, it's going to be under the website and blog menu. We're going to go to pages. All right, so I wanted to see, I'm trying to remember the name of the one that I created. Here is an energy journal landing page. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay, so I'm going to just do a quick view of this. And I actually provide this template to you if this is something that you would like to use as a starting point for yourself. And you can find this and all of the steps to actually set up a funnel that's aligned with your offer. If you go to the Success Academy inside of AttractWell, you go to online resources and courses and click right here on the Client Funnel Challenge. This will add you to the Client Funnel Challenge course. And there you'll find two different funnel options, right? Because at the end of the day, a good funnel is one that doesn't just collect names and emails and send out one or two messages. It is a system that helps to take that same concept where you grow your list and turn it into one where you are growing your list, but you're also providing an on-ramp for people who are ready right now to engage with what you're selling. And so there are two options for this. One is if you are a service-based business or a high ticket, you offer high ticket, and you need to have a conversation, a qualifying conversation with a lead before signing them onto your offer. And the other one is going to be the more leveraged option. So that's for folks who are selling courses, programs, things that are often lower ticket, lower consequence as to whether or not you have a great fit for a buyer. And so both of those options are explored here. So if you haven't done this yet, highly recommend this. These are short, easy to follow lessons that will really dive into, in a practical way, everything that I've talked about today in a step-by-step nature that we just don't have the time to cover on a call like this. So again, highly recommend that you check that out. So the first thing that I would do if I was auditing this, right? So this is a free printable energy journal. Discover how to boost your energy without overhauling your entire lifestyle. Learn how to identify hidden patterns affecting your vitality and make small, impactful changes to feel rejuvenated. And I've got, some dialogue I'm talking about. I'm talking about what she'll get, like what this will do for her. These are all outcome-based language. We've got some testimonials here. I've got a little section about me, and then I've got a final call to action. So this is really, I would say, an optimized, a very well optimized landing page. And yes, there is a resource bundle for this. You will get access to this inside the Client Funnel Challenge. right? So absolutely. So if I wanted to make adjustments to this, I would just come over here to my pages and let me go find landing. All right, so this is the Energy Journal landing page. I'm going to make a copy of this because I'm pretty sure this is one that I gave away. Here we go. So I don't want to edit the one that you guys actually get inside the course. All right. So I would want to go in and make sure that this thing that we are offering here is one that speaks to my audience and what they're looking for right now. And I actually, based on what I know, she's selling a course that helps her to her client to reclaim her energy, her spark. And but she is someone who is resistant maybe to making crazy big dietary changes and stuff like that because she's the type of person who has tried a lot of things and is feeling a little cynical, right? So this, without is a really big important thing to include here. So I actually don't think that this needs a great deal more in the way of copy. But let's take a look here and just make sure that the function of this page is really working the way that we want it to. We want it to look really great on mobile, which it does. We go to get instant access. We're using a pop-up here. Now I am using an image here that is a mock-up that I created in Canva. And this is actually a really great thing to include on a landing page. It could be above the fold here. I do think this, this energy journal, this is not really giving journal this background quite as much as it could. So there is a case to be made for maybe changing the background image out a little bit more. Again, this is really one that I created for the purpose of the course, and one that it's not one that's actively out there in the world. Just so you know, this is not like a thing that's out there in the wild generating leads. This is an example. So I might want to revisit the background image there and see if it's really evoking journal or if it's evoking energy or boosting energy, etc. And then in our pop-up, which we can go to our page settings here under leads and message to show, you can see that I've got an image here and then I've got my copy here. And again, I think that this is all pretty good. It's set up correctly. I'm going to come down here. We can see that our form fields are here. I am requiring email and name, not phone. And then I've got my initial nurture campaign here, which we can go view and edit. Now, if I go and take a look here, I've got 7 days of emails. I've got in my day 0, the tracker is here. Now, what I was referring to before, here's our energy journal. This is a direct link. If I go in and I open up this link here, you can see that this is actually going to a URL. And this URL is actually taking them to a video, right? Where they are able to download from right here. You could use an automation link here as well. They're able to download the journal. In this journal, we need to mention this is how I work with clients, right? This is a part of a bigger picture, right? So this would be where I might include that. And this is something that was created in Canva. Now, I do teach you and share examples of how to create like what the video is that would go onto a page like this, because what we're doing in this example, which would be one that would work for those of us who are selling more leveraged offers, is after they get this and they learn more about it, we're actually, because we told them, hey, this is a part of a bigger thing. Well, they're going to learn about the bigger thing in this workshop. Right. So this whole system I do teach in the Client Funnel Challenge, guys. This is something that most gurus out there in the build your business on the internet space sell for thousands of dollars. So you get it for free with AttractWell. So if you haven't taken advantage of this, please do. It'll give you what you need and you won't have to go anywhere else for it. But anyway, you do want to make sure that all of that is tied together nicely. But if we wanted to, like I mentioned, maybe turn this into an automation link so that I am maybe following up directly with people who are engaging with this. What I would do is, let me come over here and I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to go over to the contacts menu under settings. I'm just going to open this up in a new tab and I'm going to create an automation. And this is going to be, maybe I'm going to call this active lead for course or for, I don't know, we'll call it coaching offer. and I'm going to add action. And maybe here I would apply a follow-up plan, right? So here's my new lead follow-up plan. And we talk about follow-up plans in other trainings, but this is a feature in AttractWell that gives you to-dos that are systematized. So if I know for every new lead, I want to be reminded to look up their social, DM them, friend them, or something like that, or start building a quote or whatever that action might be, you put those in a follow-up plan. And so the automation could apply that when they click that link to get their freebie. I'm also going to tag them with active lead coaching offer. And obviously, I would want to have the name of my actual offer here, not just coaching offer. And then under advanced options, I'm going to send them to that URL. So if I click add automation, I copy this here, or if we go to our automations list, you can look it up where it says get keyword, right? We can click get keyword. And then in our message here, instead of sending them straight to where they download, we could actually send them to an automation link. And it's going to feel and look exactly the same for them. When they click, it's going to take them to where the freebie is that they can go take advantage of. But we're going to know that that's someone who's actively engaging. And so maybe there's some action we want to take, right? So just a cool option that you can pursue there. Another thing you want to make sure that you do have for your funnel that we haven't addressed yet is a confirmation or authority page. Now, this is one that is an authority page. Highly recommend you have one of these. I teach you how to make these and I give you all of the templates in the Client Funnel Challenge. But essentially what we're doing is we're confirming to them, right? After they put in their name and email, they say, yes, I want this. We send them to this page that says, hey, that thing you asked for, it's on the way. You're going to find it in your inbox soon, but before you go, watch this. And we've got a quick video that they watch. And just like we did before, we are inviting them to take a next step. So this is really an optimal option, right? That at minimum, your confirmation page needs to do this, right? Just to say, hey, I sent it to you, but make sure you add me to your email address or make to your email contacts so that you don't miss what I'm sending you, right? But yeah, we want to maybe have a video there, some more testimonials, and we're inviting them to take an additional next step, right? So if this is someone who really resonates with what you're saying, we want to place an opportunity for them to purchase right away. And this again goes back to why it's so important for you to be really clear on what all of the outcomes are that you offer in what you're selling, right? So that we can connect back with our lead magnet and make a logical progression here. Because if what you put out there for free doesn't connect to what you sell, you're going to have an uphill battle for yourself when you start selling. All right. So let me come over here real quick. And remember, that is under the Success Academy online resources and courses. And you're going to want to click the Client Funnel Challenge. And if you have AttractWell, it is free. It has all of the videos and it has all of the resources there for you to use as well. Let me see. All right, Diane, I will bring you out after Ellie. Absolutely. Frank says, hi, so all these leads, all these email opens, all these clicks, so now I need a freebie. Well, Frank, the freebie is what gets people onto your list in the first place, right? So whatever list you've built, you've put something out there. I mean, unless you just went straight out there and were like, I sell stuff, come buy it, and that's your list, like your list is just buyers. If that's so, I want to know what you're doing. But yeah, what you're doing with a freebie or with a lead magnet, what we're talking about here with our funnel is basically just building a list of qualified leads. All right, so real estate agents are in constant feast or famine mode, yes, which means they're constantly closing, then searching, closing, then searching. Some agents rely on commission advances with big fees. You're selling a course that creates steady, consistent income to these agents. Oh, I like that. So selling to real estate agents that's a great business, especially, given the fact that most real estate agents are on their own without a lot of great marketing and business development tools. And they certainly aren't necessarily being taught what it looks like to build their brand and show up consistently with one so that they don't have to live in feast or famine mode. So that's really great. I think that's an awesome idea. There's a lot of opportunity there. And of course, you can use AttractWell to do it. And bonus points, if you wanted to actually show them how to do some of that stuff, implementing it with our system, you could be an affiliate of AttractWell. and we would happily, help you make sure you've got all those pieces in place. And yeah, you could absolutely, if there is some, maybe if you're selling that course, Frank, you would take a piece out of that course that's very high value to the real estate agent who identifies with those problems that it solves. And you would put that out there for free, right? So here's a free 5 steps to establish a book of business, or whatever. The obviously it needs to be something a little spicier than that. Okay. Um, Let me bring you out, Ellie. Thank you for your patience and for staying up into the night for this. Hi, you can unmute. How are you?
Hi. I didn't stay up in the night. I just got up early. So it's
Oh,
like,
fabulous.
yeah, 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. Question on my site, just with optimization of to view on the phone, particularly around, I've got some testimonials and I've got some logos
Mhm.
in sections, and I I can't figure out how to optimize it so that it looks good on the phone.
Okay. Is there a particular page?
Go to the homepage.
Okay. Okay. So is this one
Just-
here with the video at the top? Here, let me get out
Yeah,
of these. Okay. Is it titled Home?
yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Let's see. Is there a particular one? Ah, I see the top one there in particular, I think.
That top one, yeah, but keep going down. There, so
Mm-hmm.
there,
Mm-hmm.
and then logos, client logos a little bit further down.
Okay.
Figured out the videos.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Okay. All right. So the generally speaking, where you have something like, and this is the background video that you have here, I assume.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so what I would do, and sometimes it works this way, sometimes you want to build from scratch. I would duplicate the section, right? So now we
Hmm.
have two. I'm going to hide this top one on the smaller devices.
Hmm.
And I'm going to hide this one on the larger devices. So this is going to be our
Hmm.
mobile visible section. And so what I would actually start with here is not 16. Okay, there we go. It's 60. So I would take this down easily by half, and then we could see how that does. If we take a look at that on mobile. Yeah, and then we need to, I think, address the how it's centered here, this element on the page. So margin, left, right. Gonna reset these. No, I need to undo what I just did there. Okay. Um, let's try that again. Okay.
So you
Okay,
take those
that
back
should be
to
fine. Yeah, so
reset.
we're taking those to 0 on left and right. And then we could go and test that again. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
And then we might want to introduce just a little bit of padding inside of this bubble itself, just so these aren't quite so tight to the edges,
Hmm.
which would basically entail, let's see, padding a little bit of the left and a little bit of the right. And that should do it. So yeah, the short answer is that you're going to create another section, hide the
Hmm.
mobile view. There we go. That's much better, right? Um, and then I would be careful with margins and how we create margins. I would use padding over margins a lot of the time because what you're actually seeing here in this next section is that it's pushed over to the right a bit, which is not really as apparent on the desktop view. And I think that I would assume the intention here is for this to be centered. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So see,
So, no.
that's got right
Okay.
padding. Um, and only right padding, and then margins. Huh. I wonder what's going on there with that. That's a little bit odd, and I'm not sure why that would
Yeah, that's right.
be.
I remember that. It did that and I couldn't figure it out either.
Yeah, okay. So when in doubt, here's what I do. Just
Mm,
grab everything that's here,
mm,
and I'm just gonna create a new section that's just, yeah, just start from scratch. Sometimes if we don't code, which I don't, you can just simply just kind of redo it and
right.
right. And anyway, so yeah, I would do something more to that
Yeah.
effect. I'm just gonna hide this one for now in case you wanted to play around with this.
Mm,
Um,
we can
this
do later.
one, I think I see what's happening here. We wanted to have like full width of this section. Um, so what I would actually do here is go 100% width for that. And that's going to give you on all devices. Let's see. I would actually add maybe some space here, right? In between. It's just going to give it a little bit more flow. Yeah,
Mhm.
right. Yeah. So something that behaves, I would aim to utilize space in such a way that, you've got maybe one sentence to read at a time, especially if it appears like a very large block.
Mhm.
Okay, what was another one that was this one
Yeah,
here,
that
I
one.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so it could be, so these are images, each of them, and they aren't sizing down, I guess, for mobile.
Mhm.
Greg, I would actually be curious, your thoughts on that, because, oh, here we go, shrink images to fit inside the carousel. That might actually be what we need to do. Let's take a look at that and see if that helps on mobile. And it may be that we keep a version of that that doesn't do the shrinking behavior on desktop if you prefer the width. But
Too small.
this, right, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're on mobile, it's a little bit less of an issue. It may benefit you if you want to keep this, kind of highly mobile optimized. You maybe recreate some of these images in a taller sort of a taller layout, and then have, just like I did before, make a duplicate of this. And then you're just
Mhm.
swapping out the more mobile optimized images for the wider ones for the mobile only section version. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Okay, so recreate them in a taller one, but still
Hmm.
have it on the carousel.
That's right. Yeah. So I would keep this one with hidden from mobile, and then I would have this one hidden from the larger devices, and then you would put the mobile friendly images in here. Mhm. So
Mhm.
you would edit
So
this
would that still
carousel.
need to have the shrink? Would it still have to have the shrink
The one
images if
above
I
would
make
no
them a different
longer,
size?
that's right. Yeah,
Oh,
this
I
one would
see. I
not
see.
need to shrink. So we would fill the entire carousel for
Mhm.
this desktop view option, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then for this one, we would shrink to fit. Now you could actually use the fillet option if the images are mobile oriented, right? If
Taller.
they're
Okay.
taller as opposed to wider, yeah. And
Mhm.
then this section down here, aha. Okay, so these are two different images. Let me see if we've got, yeah, we've got margins here that maybe, what on earth? Um,
Yeah, I
padding.
think I don't know what I did. And then I thought, should I just actually make it into one image? Um,
So that actually that could work. One wide image and just kind of do the same thing where you hide from, let me undo that thing that I just did there. Um, so you would maybe create one wide image that you could upload here and hide from mobile and portrait tablet, and then show on widescreen devices. And then you would make a copy of this section. And then this would maybe be, here's how I would do this for mobile. Um,
mhm.
I would hide from the desktop devices. And then this would be a two column section. Or actually, let me see. Uh, Yeah, just be a two column section. And I would do a two column no header, and I would put, one image here, one image here. And this way, they'll stack on mobile. So
Okay, but that's what it is now. It is two column now.
it's for some reason, it could, I'm not entirely sure just because I haven't been present for all of the adaptations and what could have gone into the code. Um, Here, let's go enlarge to full width, and then we'll do the same for this one.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, there's just some little funny thing happening there. Enlarge to full width. Okay. And let me delete that one. All right, so this one would be yes to mobile, no to the larger devices. And so when we get all the way down there, yeah, they would then stack this way.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you've done a lot of work to have it look a very specific way on the wider devices, which is usually the case, because we're designing on a desktop, um,
Mhm.
then it's just going to be important to create another version of it that's hidden from desktop devices
Mhm.
that is confirmed to work in mobile view.
Okay, two more quick questions.
Sure.
If you've got a section on one page and you want to copy that section across to the another page, how do you do that? And the other one is if you have a form and it's the same form on multiple pages, when someone fills out the form, you don't necessarily know which page it's come from if it's the same form. You get notified that it's someone has filled it out, but you don't know if it came from page A or page B.
Mm-hmm. So there is attribution from the page forms on the contact card, typically, signed up on X thing. But typically, the best way to track, in my opinion, these opt-ins is with tags. So just make sure that in your settings for your capture form that you are applying tags so
Oh,
that you
okay.
can attribute to a particular offer. Maybe this is lead homepage or whatever you would like to do where that's
Oh, okay. So
concerned.
tag it on there. Okay.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
you want to use tags for that. And your question about adding in a section from another page, if this is something that you're going to use often, maybe across many pages on your website,
Hmm.
then I would consider creating a dedicated, I'm just going to go ahead and save what I did here.
Hmm.
You can create a dedicated page that just has that section, right? So you could do that for maybe testimonials or just all kinds of different things that you could place onto a page. So if it's something you're going to use often, I would just create a new page that has all of those elements, or you would
Hmm.
copy in the specific thing that you want from an existing page. But I would
Hmm.
set the page up as, call it, testimonial section,
Hmm.
and it would be available by link only. It would not have a header or footer. And then I would just add whatever it is here. And then it becomes a lot easier to copy in another page, which is you just click add section and then you click copy in another page. And then you go find whatever that thing is. So I can actually
Okay.
copy in the whole homepage here, but it is going
Got
to
it.
get a bit
Okay.
tedious, because we've got to delete this one, yes, and that
Hmm.
one, yes. So we got to go through the whole thing. So if it's something that you
Yeah.
want to use a lot, I would just create just that on the
Hmm.
page. And then you can just use that to copy in wherever you want it.
Okay, that's good. No, I didn't know there was that drop down. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. And as of right now, forms are tied directly to pages. So if you want to basically use the same form on one page as you do on another, the ideal workflow for now is to just make a copy of that page. So let's say your offer is
Yes.
the same on your home page as it is on your about page. Just copy your home page to make your about page and delete the stuff that's on the page front that you don't want. And then, all the back end form stuff will be the same. We do, it's definitely a wish list item to have forms be something that's a little bit more independent, but that would be the fastest way to do it. Or of course, you're just
Yeah.
going to go in and mirror the settings of
Yeah.
wherever else you have that offer.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
All right. All right, Diane, you requested a feedback for maybe your funnel. Hi. You can unmute. Tell me
Hello.
about what you'd like help with.
I just built all the funnel. I built the funnel and the drip campaign. And then after listening to your talk today, I was just wondering if you could possibly take a look at what I built and give me any quick feedback. I think I got everything, but any help would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and you built your landing page is on a page in AttractWell. What is it called?
Hold on, let me get you on the other screen. So my landing page, I think I have it as the landing page. Like if you go to my website, simply like go to view my site and then, oh, not that one. That that's pink part there, join my mailing list is my where people click to come in. And then
Okay.
it takes them into the landing page. But
Okay.
I used a landing page, not a web page.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine as a starting point. Um, great. Let me see. Given the volume of what we're sharing here, especially right up top, the volume of copy that's here, I think that this kind of makes a case potentially for you utilizing a slightly different setup for your landing page. You can still use the landing pages feature for this, but I would maybe consider, instead of using the simple short form, maybe using a 2 or 3 part form. Right. So if
Okay.
we're using a 3 part form like this one right here, I would maybe move the gentle invitation, all of this other stuff. I would remove that from this image.
Uh-huh.
And really just kind of have this be 5 minutes to shift from surviving to thriving, because that really it's getting lost in all of the copy that's here.
Fair enough.
The 5 minutes to shift from surviving to thriving is the most important thing you're saying on this page, because that's the thing that they need to relate to, because they don't know what this simple acronym means. But you
Right.
know that it is simple. This is good. But this stuff down here could then move to a second section here,
Mhm.
right? And then you can give that final call to action here. So, but no, it's good. You've got a great starting point here. It would be, I think, optimal though to kind of just break it up just a little bit so that people can really pause long enough to appreciate what you're saying. The other thing that I think would be really valuable for you to do that you're not currently doing is utilizing the My Story and About Me section that can automatically be inserted into the bottom of these landing pages. And that's over
Oh,
here under, let me see, is it custom? Where is that now, Greg? Where is the My Story and About? Is that in a
Oh, it's
new
my simple
place?
site is what it's been
Okay,
changed to. Yeah.
okay, got you. Yeah, so if we go to, yeah, this about section here. Yeah, this is what we
uh-huh.
want. So we've got our Meet Diane, and you do have some stuff here. So I'm going to put this at the bottom of landing pages and save it. And then you can see that that can actually populate down here.
Oh, that's how that works. That makes so
Yeah.
much more sense. Okay. And I know where to
Yeah.
fix it. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah. So if you go under My Simple Site, that's this About section. And you can also in this About section have this show up at the bottom of your blog post, which I highly recommend as well, at the bottom of your events and the digest pages for blog posts and events. All right. So let's go back to your landing page here. We'll take another look at what we have going on the back end. So we are offering here um, this, oh, that's not the one, is it? Join
Join
community.
community, that one.
Yes.
The top
Okay.
left.
Yes, the simple community,
Hmm.
start guided meditation. Yeah, and another thing that we could do if we break this up into multiple sections is that we can make it more clear that we host calls every Sunday, but right now, right away, you're going to get access to this guide, right?
Got it.
And that's being that's not quite as clear. So okay, you've got a message after registration. Um, okay. And so we are wanting to send them to a group, or let me see. Do we have a campaign attached?
Yeah.
Let's go take a look at that. Okay, so this is the download. This is where we can actually get the thing that you're offering.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, so I would still recommend having another like a space here where we can or just woven into this somewhere, a nod to what you sell. Um,
Oh,
and
yes, I have it down at the bottom there. That's probably not enough.
yeah. The reason why you want to do that in multiple places is because people generally are not paying attention to details. And so anything that you really want them to see, you want to repeat. So you do have the pop-up. Um,
Huh.
I would, let's see, they're not going to very easily, unless you hyperlink this. Is this in your system as a PDF?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would do, actually, honestly, what I would recommend that you do is to take this thing that you're offering here on this pop-up and put it in the email, and in this pop-up say, go check your email now. I've given you this additional free thing. Because as
Okay.
soon as somebody puts their name and email in on a form on your website, that's not the end of the story, right? We want them to go check their email, click a link, hit reply, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And we want that to happen as soon as possible. And so if we give them what they asked for before having them go check their email, open it, click, reply, whatever, then we're missing a really critical opportunity at the outset. So
Okay.
I would recommend really on your in a confirmation message like this or on a confirmation page that you could send them to after they opt in, I would keep the instructions very simple. You can absolutely reiterate, here's what you'll get, but the most important thing you need to be saying is go check your email, add me to your contacts, because that way that person that's on your list actually engages from the get, and you have a better chance of keeping them engaged. But yeah, you've got what is you're sending them to a page about a book after they opt in?
Yes.
All right, let me see. Oh, interesting. So you've done a really good job with this. What I would recommend doing here is instead of sending them straight to a page that is selling your book, because that is a little bit of a break in the expectation, right? When they're on your site and they want this 5 minutes to, they want the 5 minutes thing. We want to make sure that we're honoring their expectations where they are. And if we go from, I'm going to send you a free meditation or workbook or whatever, and then without really telling them what's going to happen next, we just send them straight to a page where they can buy our book. It's going to cause a little bit of a break in trust because the expectation isn't really aligned there for them. So you have a couple of options. One could be you provide a link to this in that confirmation message where you can say, if you're interested in perusing the books that I offer, click here. Or you could say on the next page, and this is what I would do here. I would say maybe on the next page, click the button below on the next page. You'll be able to see my most recent book or something like that. You just want to make sure that you are making that expectation very clear. Because after you put in your name and email on this form, all of this stuff right here is going to pop up. And we are giving them a fair amount to read here. So we can't guarantee that they're actually going to read what's there. So just so long as you're making clear, like when you click continue, and there will be a button that says continue, here's where you'll go next, right? So just make sure that you are saying that if you want to send them straight there. But I would say that we like it would be better for you to send them to this page from this campaign. Be talking
Well, and
about
and
that
I'm
book
kind of
inside the
shocked.
campaign.
I thought I fixed it because I built the lead magnet thank you page. So I have to fix
Oh,
my links.
oh, okay. Yeah. So if you have a you called it a
Lead
thank you
make
page.
it's
Oh,
called,
there it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's go
I
take a
thought
look at
it-
that and see. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, no, this is what you want. Yes, what to expect, your first tool, what's next. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, perfect. So you just had the wrong page attached. Let's see, lead capture, simple, um, contact acknowledgement. Yeah. So really the only changes that I would consider making here are
Just
breaking
take
the
out
message
the
apart. Yeah, breaking the message apart, maybe using a slightly different page. And you don't have to. This is still perfectly fine as a starting point. But here, what I might consider doing is just not even show a message after registration, but just send them to that thank you page. Because I think the thank you page is going to say everything that needs to be said. And then,
okay.
anything else you just make sure that you include in that campaign.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and save. Oop, nope. I'm going to go ahead and save that for you. And
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. All right, let me see. Denny says, how do we sell a campaign that is only an email sequence, no vault? I have two paid options for a challenge. One is the vault with the community, only with me in the vault. And the email sequence campaign, the only one is just the email campaign. Okay, they both get a fillable journal. Should the journal be in a vault? It doesn't have to be. Yeah, I think you did answer your own question there, Denny. Yes. Okay, so I'll try to answer this as simply and succinctly as possible. What you want to do is for your, I would assume, higher ticket option, where you want to have access to you, communicating with you, a chat with you, right? That's going to be the vault. And in that case, you would put the link to that download in the vault. If you are offering something that is just the series of emails, you could just send the link to that PDF for them to download from the campaign. You can sell a high ticket offer without a vault, right? Once they purchase, you apply that email campaign and any number of things can happen after that. So you can actually just send them the worksheet or workbook or whatever that they need, and then they, continue receiving those emails. You could deliver however you want to, so long as you're setting expectations well, right? And you're making sure those are very clearly communicated before they purchase and after they purchase, and that you're giving them clear instructions to, in this case, most importantly, check their email to make sure that they are getting what they need from you. All right, to continue that thought, simple to me is delivering the fillable journal without a vault for those only getting that in the email campaign. Yes, absolutely. I would, in this case, I would save the vault just for those who are paying for access to that back and forth community, chat with you, etc. And you scheduled a call with Pam. Excellent. Hey, by the way, anyone who's still here, if you have not scheduled yourself a call with Pam, if you want some hands-on help, you have options beyond just this call. Be sure that you go over here to the AttractWell dashboard under the Success Academy. Just a quick recap here. If we go to our online resources and courses, check out this Client Funnel Challenge if you haven't done so already. But then over here under Get Help from a Real Person, you can come here to AttractWell Group Help. And also maybe we add this live help link here, Greg, which will take you to this page here where Pam has these calls. All right. And Pam is absolutely incredibly talented in using our system, copywriting, design, everything. So you will get a lot out of those calls if you choose to engage with them. So thank you guys for being a part of this community, allowing us this space to serve you. If you have an idea or request for a training, let us know. We're happy to come up with something that fits the needs and use cases that you have for the system. And of course, we'll be back here same time next week. Hope you guys have a great week. Take care, everybody.